Hello, my dreamers and believers. It's your girl, Latina Raven, and this show is called On the Way to Famous. On this show, we take the artists back to humble beginnings and we follow their journey from dream to reality and all the struggles in between. So today, my guest hails from Brooklyn. He had a morning show on KTU. He's been working with the likes of Red Alert, Fat Joe, Funkmaster Flex, our very own Angie Martinez, and he is a self-proclaimed mama's boy. Welcome to my show, radio personality Noel Mercado, known to the world as Speedy.
¿Qué pasa? How are you, mamita?
I'm good and you. Thank you for being on my show.
Yeah, that's a great intro. But I also did the biggest morning show in New York City, which was El Vacilón with Luis Jimenez. We still together. We still do one of the biggest podcasts there is. I've been one of the only radio personalities in New York City to have done ESPN Deportes because I'm a sports junkie. I did ESPN Deportes. I did Hot with Angie and Flex and Red and all those cats. I did KTU, and I did also my humble beginnings was the original Hot 103 when before it was Hot 97 with all the dance music. And I also worked with a legendary person called Polito Vega when I did internships at Radio Hit. And you had Hilda Miros and you had all the Latin superstars, legends.
From
Because
back in the day. Yep.
yeah, you mentioned Polito Vega, that's a legend.
Definitely. And I'm going to let you get to all of that, but I got to bring you back a little bit, okay?
Shoot.
So I just want everybody to get to know you from the very beginning. So you grew up in Brooklyn, New York, yes?
Yeah, still here.
All right. So tell us about how it was growing up in Brooklyn, what schools you went to, all of
I
that.
grew up. I grew up in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, with the Sudes. It was known as the Sudes, the South Side, which I still go because I still got family. I moved to Greenpoint, Brooklyn, which is maybe 5 minutes from where I grew up. But I grew up in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Went to elementary school, PS16. To this day, I'm still great friends with my sixth grade teacher, Mr. Jeffrey Flau. We still communicate.
Okay.
From there, I went to IS 71, high school IS 71. From there, I went to the notorious Eastern District High School.
Eastern District. Okay. I
Yeah,
remember Eastern
at
District.
the time was considered one of the worst schools in all of New York City, but I owe so much to that school and to one specific teacher, Mr. Alan Rothman, who kind of took me under his wing. And I'll be the first one to say I was bullied my first year in high school. I was the smallest guy around.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was tough. And he saw me in the hallways one day and he says, we started talking. He says, "You're a very funny guy." And he says, "Why don't you do me a favor and put me in front of a microphone and read this for me and do this for me?" From there, I ended up doing the morning announcements.
Mm.
Please report to class 305. The lunch we'll be serving will be meatloaf. And I started doing interviews of the high school coaches and all that. And people started tell me, "Oh, that was funny. I heard you on the thing, whatever." And we developed a radio station, WEDHS, which is Eastern District High School. And we used to broadcast into the lunchroom. And in
Mm.
those days, we had cassettes, the
Yes.
cassettes. So some of the kids would bring their own cassettes of mixes that they heard or whatever. And we would play them over the loudspeaker while everybody was having lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk in between them and whatever. And we used to go to Radio Shack, me and my teacher and a couple, and we used to ask for extra pieces that they were using or extra parts, and we ended up making the turntables. We ended up, developing something really cool, really really cool. Um, from there, I went to Kingsborough Community College. My radio name there was Doctor Doom.
Dr. Doom. Okay.
Yeah, and then J.R. Ruiz. I had two names.
Okay.
Um, yeah. But as I call it destiny or I call it whatever the hell. I don't know what it was. Um,
But it was meant to be. It was meant to be. You were
Yeah,
very
because Mickey Garcia, who ended up becoming the owner of Micmac Records, and producing such records like Cynthia Change on Me, Johnny O, Fantasy Girl, God, so many hits on Micmac. Micmac was his label, Suave, Nyasia, oh my God, so many records, you know. So he ended up being my boss in college.
mm-hmm.
Funny story, he was one of my bosses in college, and when he did his first record, which was uh I Won't Stop Loving You by C-Bank.
Okay.
And we were the only college radio station at that time that was able to broadcast into a club and stuff like that. This and he laughs about it all the time. I'm on the air, and he turns around and says, "Yo, that's my record. That's my bitch right there. That's my bitch." And I'm looking at him like, "Yo, yo, yo, we on the air, Pop. Relax, be easy." He says, "That was a funny story." Then, after him, who becomes my other boss? Tracy Clordy.
Okay.
Tracy Clordy ended up being the program director at Hot 97.
Okay.
So I was blessed,
Mm-hmm.
worked with a lot of people. Another guy I worked with in college was name is Jonathan Roth. He's in charge of the house music and all the dance channels on XM.
Okay, so hold on a second because you're getting way, way, way ahead of me. So, for those that don't know the artist that you were talking about, back in the day, we had a genre of music called freestyle. And
Still
freestyle,
around, still around,
yeah, it's still around. It's definitely still around. But
still
it,
around, and still kicking. I just did just to cut you. I just did a show in Mohegan Sun on Saturday at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut.
yeah.
We did 5,000. We did 5,000 people.
Yeah, I mean, I go to the freestyle festivals. As you can see, I'm wearing my TKA shirt because I went to see them. I also got to interview the Nasty Boys. I saw them when they were performing. So I love freestyle music, but I want to get it, out there for those that don't know. Freestyle music, you couldn't go to a bodega or a hair salon on anywhere in the hood in the late 80s and early 90s without listening to freestyle music. And so Speedy
Which
is
at the time was considered Latin hip hop. It
Latin hip
wasn't
hop.
called freestyle; it was called Latin hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was just a genre of music, and it was amazing, amazing, amazing. And so you were a part of that, and you were able to be on the radio station. You were able to interview those artists. You were able to play those music. I mean,
Actually, hold on. Now you're getting a little too ahead.
ah,
Actually, I started the original Hot 103. Well, it's called the Hot Patrol.
right.
The Hot Patrol was that we used to give out bumper stickers. We used to be in the vans, and we used to give out the T-shirts and all that. And but so again, for some reason or another, I used to have to drive the DJs around, like Al Bandero, Broadway Bill Lee, Freddie Colon, all those guys. Um, and they found me funny. So one day, I called Broadway Bill Lee to let him know, listen, I'm in the corner of so and so and so, and I got those passes to one of the hot nights, I think it was, something like that. And he was recording it, and I didn't know. So he's recording it. He's asking me, "What do you see around you, Speedy? Pots and pans, and blah 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 blah." And he was recording the whole thing because he did it on natural. You know what I mean? It was just I didn't even know he was recording it.
Right.
So the program director found it funny, and he became, and still to this day, one of my biggest friends and all that. Joe Sokowitz
Mm-hmm.
was the program director at Hot 103 in those days. And he found it hilarious, and he let me do all the calls. When I used to do the calls, like, "Hey, what up, mi gente? It's the Hot 103 Hot Patrol, and we're right now in Orchard Beach. And if you find me, I got the Coca-Cola beach bag, full of prizes and blah 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 blah. First person to find me out here gets the beach bag and all that. So it started from there, and it said, yo, it kind of took off and took off. Then we changed form, and then that's where I started working with Angie Martinez. Me and Angie used to drive the vans. Angie started driving the vans with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were two of those guys giving out T-shirts and all that. For a lot of people don't know. Some people talk nonsense about Angie and this and that and blah blah blah. That woman worked her ass off more than anybody that I know. She worked her tail off.
Right.
Don't give a damn what anybody got to say. That I saw that firsthand.
Okay.
Firsthand.
That's right. You got to let it be known, right?
Firsthand that she earned every little thing she got. She's earned it.
Okay.
She's earned it. A hard worker. We used to walk into the studio at 1 o'clock in the morning. There she was working on her tape, doing this, doing that. You know what I mean? She's earned everything. I don't give a damn what anybody says. She's the queen of New York radio for a reason. She earned it.
Yeah, she sure did. And then for those that may not know who she is, or for those, which I would find it hard if you didn't, but we are living in a new generation now. This is the foundation that was laid out. And so for those that are coming up, what would you say to them?
To them,
Yeah.
be
Like if they
yourself.
wanted to do this now, what would you
Be
say?
yourself. Don't imitate nobody. Have your own style. Have your own identity. Create your own identity. Don't try to be, a combination of, let's say, a Daddy Yankee. Just be yourself. You know what I mean? Everybody tries to imitate everybody. And you know what? Imitation is the best way of flattery, but you're never going to develop your own identity if you don't develop something for yourself. You got to have something special that you've developed that people have to want to like or remember you by.
Right.
Always.
And so when it comes to your story and how you grew up, and you stated that, you had gotten bullied and stuff like that, but the teachers liked you, they gave you a break, right? So now, as you're working in through the system and you see all these young people coming up and you see everyone trying to develop something, you are known as the Wepa man, right?
Right.
So how did that get started? Tell
Well,
us about that.
well, there's a story to that too because Danny Vargas, God rest his soul, did the wepas on records like the Esa Loca stuff and all that. Danny Vargas did that,
Yeah.
but wepa is a word that every Puerto Rican uses.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and it has so many different meanings to it. Like if you see a hot girl walking by you, wepa mami, vaya. You know, or if something's really good, wepa, diablo, esto está más bueno que el carajo. So it has different meanings. You know what I mean? So the first time I'm going on the air, they tell me, yo, you ready? You know what you're doing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna, I'm gonna be honest, and you could edit this part if you want, because I didn't know a motherfucking thing that I was gonna do. I'm gonna be dead honest, but in my mind and in my heart, I said, "This is your chance. You might not get another chance, and you got to take advantage of it." Because people don't realize, people like me, like Angie, we've gotten so lucky because most people got to go to Montana, Carajo land to read the pigs report on the radio over there for you to develop yourself to get a chance to come back to New York to work in New York. New York is considered the number one market.
Okay.
So you just can't say, "Oh, I'm going on the radio in New York and Pancima." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, 99.9% start somewhere else and then come back. Sometimes they don't even get a chance to come back. You know what I mean? You're blessed. That's why I said it's been a blessing for me. That I've been able to do what I've been doing um all this time. I've only worked in one other market.
Okay.
the #2 market, Los Angeles.
Oh, LA. Okay. Tell us.
Yeah, I did the mornings with the Baker Boys. These guys called the Baker Boys. And there's this famous person from LA called oh God, why can't I'm drawing a blank today. Well, I'll get back to him. Big Boy. Big Boy. He's been on all TV shows and all that.
Okay.
So I worked with him at nights.
Okay.
But
But how did you become the Wepa man though?
because okay, going back to that. So they told me you're going on the air, blah blah blah. For some reason or another, I there's a saying in Spanish that says Dios trabaja por sendero misterioso. Dios trabaja por sendero misterioso. That means God works in mysterious ways. So the first thing that came into my mind was my family, my heritage in Puerto Rico, because people don't know I went to school in Puerto Rico for about 5 years.
Okay.
Because my mom and my dad always wanted me to learn Spanish and English. So the first thing that I go, Huepa, ¿qué pasa Nueva York? And ¿qué pasa Nueva York was another line from a famous DJ, Freddie Colon, Fast Freddie Colon, who used to be on KTU and you know.
Yeah.
So right there, I stretched it out. I didn't do it like a quick Huepa, no, like the record does. I stretch mine out.
Right.
No, I stretch. So everybody started taking a liking to it, and everywhere everybody saw me was like, "Where pop pop?" And I was like, "Okay, I got something here. You know, I do got something." So it took off from there, you know, and God bless, it's going to go. What am I? 1987. Jesus, 87, 97, 2007, 2017.
Yeah, it'll be almost 40 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a long time. A lot of things have happened by accident to a lot of artists that I've noticed. You know, I've interviewed some, even K7 was talking about his song Come Baby Come. He went into the studio not knowing what lyrics he was gonna come up with, and when they asked him, he was like, I don't know, you gotta give me loving or you gotta give me some, and it became a hit. No plans as to how to do it, what to do it. It just happened. It was just meant
This
to be,
happened.
just like with you becoming the
It
way.
just happened. You know, you know what it is, man? It's just wanting something so bad. It's just wanting something so bad that, you know, like I said before, I said it and I was just like, this could be my only chance.
Right.
So I got to take advantage of it. If I don't take advantage of it now, who knows what could happen? And I could never, I've never been a person to be able to live with could have, should have, but didn't.
Right.
I can't live with that. I can't.
Right.
I can't. And I'm a
So
type of I'm a type of person also that if you tell me I can't do it, now you're gonna make me work 5 times as hard to prove you wrong.
yeah.
Now is on. Now is on.
Well, I tell people all the time that the key to doing any of that is to not be afraid to fail. So you would rather go try it, fail, than live with shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And I totally get that and I respect that. And so when you was growing up and stuff, did you go through any trials and tribulations that maybe at some point you thought, okay, maybe this isn't for me or maybe I'm not gonna make it. Did you
You
have
know what? It's
doubts?
funny. It wasn't trials and tribulation, but my father knew that I was going to be somebody in the radio or in TV.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because mommy tells me that I used to grab. If people don't know what a pilon is,
I it
it's
matches
something you
up.
mash with.
Yeah.
Puerto Ricans use it to make mofongo, to mash stuff. So mom says I will grab the pilon and make it my microphone and go in front of the TV and just talk nonsense, like, you know, and I would narrate the games and whatever. And my father even threw shoes at me one time sleeping, because threw me with a shoe because I was talking in my sleep and I was narrating a game. He says, in my sleep.
Oh wow.
So he threw like a shoe at me for me to shut the hell up already. Because he came running in, he came in running into the room thinking something was wrong, and it's me in my sleep narrating a game. Tírame la bola, hey, hey, hey. So
Ay, ay, ay.
él me tiró la bola el zapato. Ah, cállate, estúpido.
That is the equivalent of the chancleta, man. You know, Latinos, we know what that's about.
Yeah, so my father had a and you know what? And I've said that my dad, there used to be this thing called bolita in the it's illegal gambling in the Hispanic community. That was so big in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Everybody played the numbers. So
Hmm.
my dad was the person who paid the bank. Let's say you played a number with somebody, my dad would pay to somebody to pay you.
Got it.
He was the bank. I never hide that because I learned so much from it.
Right.
But he always told me, this ain't for you. The day I ever catch you even trying to learn, or even me and you gonna fight.
Mm.
Me and you gonna fight. I do this for you, but you don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
No, 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 no.
Because he wanted better. He wanted better for you.
No, and I, to me, my dad was my hero. As tough as he was, but he was my hero. I started working at 14. 14, I was again, the Spanish and English helped me out so much because I was a translator at a pharmacy. They used to fill out the welfare in the old days. You had to fill out paperwork in order to get your prescription paid by the city.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be the translator to fill out their prescriptions
Okay.
for they get their medicine or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I always and then I worked at McDonald's. I was a cook in McDonald's. Uh, and I would come all burnt from the grill and all that. And my dad would tell me, papi, ¿cuánto te están pagando ellos? Yo te lo pago, pero no te me quemes ni nada de eso. And I was like, no, 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 pop. You got yours. I want mine. Tú
Yeah.
tienes lo tuyo. Yo quiero lo mío. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I was always, I was a small little guy, but I've always been a come mierda. Because I always no, and I mean it in a positive, because I always looking fly. You know what I mean? My thing was always looking
Mm-hmm.
proper. Have my Pumas. To this day, I still collect Pumas. I have 300 pairs of Pumas,
Wow.
suede Pumas. Yeah,
Those suede ones. I remember those.
yeah. And when I do big shows, I wear them with my graffiti outfits. I wear graffiti outfits. Let me see.
Yeah, show us.
Do I have one here? Yeah, actually, I do. I don't know if you can see. You can see it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Those are custom. Those were handmade, that looks like.
These are all custom made for me.
Nice.
I have this guy called Mad Skills in
Mad
Jersey
skills. Shout out to Mad Skills.
that that does it for me. I I tell him what the occasion is. I tell him what the occasion is. I tell him what I want, and and he does it for me. And that, whenever I feel like I'm getting a little out of control, like my head is getting a little big,
Mm-hmm.
I look down at my sneakers and I say, coño, de donde llegaste, no te luca. Remember where you came from.
Mm-hmm.
Remember where it took you to get here.
Right.
Don't get crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally get that.
So
And
it's just a reminder of how hard I've had to, the nights I broke, in the clubs, and everybody makes it look, yo, you're on the microphone, you hanging out with the celebrities, you know that, but yo,
No,
you
they
don't know
don't
how
see
many,
the work.
you don't know how much work it went into it, how much I cried, how much, you know,
Yeah,
I've
the
never,
nights that you stood up, the food you didn't get to eat, all of it. I get it. Yeah. A lot of people, they see the glitz and glamour, but the work behind it, they never
not only
see.
that, the sacrifices you put, because like I've never been married, I've never had no kids, I've never, because of the fact that I wanted this so bad
Okay.
that I wasn't gonna let anything, and don't get me wrong, I adore kids. I play Santa Claus for kids in the hospitals every year. Um, I do charity work to get toys for kids every year. Um, but I didn't want to be one of these fathers that was fucking 10,000 miles away, and my son is over there, and I'm partying in the club. Nah, I
Okay.
didn't want to do that.
Understood. Understood. This is your baby. Okay.
You
And so
know, this it was again. It was proving to myself that I was good enough. I didn't give a damn what anybody thought. It was for me, satisfaction for me that I know that I was good enough that I did it.
yes. Yep. And here you are, and now you're a legend in New York City.
Oh man, I appreciate that, but I'm not a legend. I'm just a guy who loves what he does and been blessed. God has been so good to me. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, but you're definitely a legend because I know who you are, and I hear your voice. You know that voice, that web. You can't. It's distinguished. You cannot compare that with anyone else. You know it's you when you see it, when you hear it. You know what I mean? And and
I
and
appreciate that.
and it's amazing, and it's amazing. And back in the day, we had the clubs like Latin Quarters. I know I used to go to Latin Quarters all the time, and they had a what was the other one?
You had Hot Throbs, you had 1018, you had
Palladium,
Palladium, 1018, Palladium, Roseland,
the
Un-
Copa.
Underground, Copa,
Fever in the Bronx.
Fever, the Devil's Nest.
Yeah.
God, there were so many clubs.
Infamous ones, yeah. And then, they were all playing, the freestyle music, which I know was Latin music for us, but it was an amazing time, an amazing time. And so now that you've gotten a little older, you've been in the game 30 plus years, what's going to be next for Speedy?
Um, I got some projects. I right now I do one of the biggest podcasts there is with Luis Jimenez. For people who don't know, Luis Jimenez had the #1 rated morning show. It's called El Vacilon, and he's the only man ever to beat Howard Stern in the ratings
I didn't
in
know
New York City. Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's
So I do.
amazing. That's good.
Yeah, it's a Latino. Um, that's another guy I've been with for over 15, 16 years, and he's a legend. He's amazing. He's just he's in the league by his own, on his own, And, I'm working with him. I'm working with this famous DJ in Puerto Rico called Baron Lopez. And I released a single one time called Speedy's Anthem.
Oh.
Yeah, and I got to open up for Ricky Martin, Destiny's Child, and sung by four at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, we got to hear that. I want to hear that. Definitely send that to me. Okay. Okay, that's
Oh,
amazing. And so
working
could you tell
working on
us?
remaking that.
Yeah.
Um, you know, some projects. I'm working on some projects
Okay.
and trying to stay relative.
Yeah, yeah. Well, could you tell us what it was like working with some of your favorite artists?
You know what? What I loved about it most that we became family. That they became my, you know, like K7's kids called me Tio. Cynthia's kids called me Tio. Um, Fat Joe everywhere he sees me, that's my little bro. That's
Yeah.
my brother right there. Um,
So you've established a lot of relationships over the years and you've
oh
kept
yeah,
that's
yeah.
sweet.
Rob Bass is another one. I call Red Alert Uncle Red. Everywhere I see Red Alert is Uncle Red. Yo, Unc, what up, Unc? Um, Angie's my sister, you know. Angie, and she wrote in her book, and to my pain in the ass, who I can't, you know, Speedy, you know, I love you with all my heart. You know what I mean? It's those are the type of relationships, and I'm so blessed that I've developed those type of relationships. Biggie was one of my dear friend. Biggie, Notorious Big, was a great friend of mine. Um, God, Puffy still sees me. What up, boy? What up, boy? What up, boy? Everywhere he sees me. What up, boy?
Mm-hmm.
JD sees me. Yo, Playboy, what up? Bushwick's in the house, you know.
Ah, yeah, well, yeah. Brooklyn.
Yeah, you know, uh, God, you know, and I just saw I promote a restaurant called Patricia's in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And and I walk in and somebody says, "Yeah, man, people forget their friends." And when I look behind me, it's Premier, DJ Premier.
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh shit, Primo," you know.
Yeah.
Then and it's funny because in every market I've developed friends that became my brothers for life. Like La India is a great friend. Mark Anthony is another great friend. Tito Nieve, you know, I see Tito Nieves everywhere. It's just like, you know, he's all love. Victor Manuel,
Wow.
God, like I said, Angie. In the dance music, it's you know, TKA, Cindy, Judy, Deborah Cox is a great friend. Uh Lisa is my sister. That's my sister. That's the one that has to approve who I'm dating.
I
Yeah,
love it. I love it. They're very protective of you. So what
yeah.
I'm
Lisa is, Judy Torres is too. Cynthia, they all like, yo, hello, who's that? We haven't met her. Hello, bring her over.
she
Bring
has to
her
be
over.
pre-approved. She has to be pre-approved.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, y'all need to chill with that. They're like, no, no, no.
I love it. I love it. So what I'm getting from this, right, is that you need, for those that are trying to come up in the industry or whatever, the key is collaboration. The key is making these relationships and keeping them.
You know what? The key is not burning your bridges, man. Just shut up and do your job. Just shut up and do your job. Don't try to overextend yourself. Don't try to kiss ass. Don't try to this and that, because they're gonna see through that. They're gonna see through that plastic bullshit. Just be real. Always keep it 100, and people see it. They'll see it in your face and your mannerism that you real. You know,
Mm,
all these people could tell bullshit from a long way.
you heard it here. You heard it right out of Speedy's mouth.
The truth. Be yourself. You know, God, listen, God gave a talent to every person. Now that's on you to be able to use it to your abilities and to your advantage. You know, now if you want to be somebody, listen, man, I don't have anything against white people. I don't have anything against black people. I don't have anything against anybody. But when Latinos try to be white or black, that bothers me.
Mm,
That bothers me. You have your own identity. Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody you're not.
mm-hmm.
Don't step out. Like Flex used to tell me, stay in your lane. Funk Master Flex used to always tell me, stay in your lane, Speedy.
Yeah.
You know, he used
Yeah.
to call me Biscuit. He used to call me your Biscuit. Stay in your lane.
Oh, I
And
love it.
I'm like, I and this would be my, you know, people can't see whatever, but this would be my from the other studio to Flex, giving him the middle finger, like. But to this day, but to this day, that man's still my brother. Anywhere I call him, any hour, anytime.
Yeah.
That's still it. Same thing with Angie. Same thing with Joe. You know,
Yeah. And your favorite part of doing what you do is what?
making people smile, making people happy, knowing the fact that when I used to love doing mornings because I want to be the one that made you happy. And if you left your house all grumpy and you got in your car and I made you smile, then my job was done. My
That,
job was done. And if I can reach one kid, if I can reach one kid and he can learn something from my story and make a better person for himself, that money can't buy that. It's not, people don't understand. It's not all about the money.
Right.
It's not all about the money, because you could be making all the money in the world and you could be the most unhappiest person there is in the world. You know, you got to be happy in order to make other people happy. When I worked with RuPaul, yes, I did work with RuPaul for 6 years.
Nice. I love
Yeah.
RuPaul.
Yeah. We did the morning show together at KTU.
Mm-hmm.
RuPaul would always tell me, Speedy, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else?
That's true. That's true. This right here. This right here. No, it's true. It's true.
You
And a
know,
lot of people, we live in a society now where everything is social media based, right? So everyone's fighting for likes or how many
like,
likes or how many, go viral. And like, I'm still trying to learn that, right? Because my generation didn't have that. We made relationships by actually talking to people in real time.
and by getting a beeper number.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, I remember. Oh. That was our version of texting.
Yeah.
That was our version of texting, having the beeper and putting like the
The
fours,
code
the O's or
besos.
whatever, so it could spell
Besos.
out boob or whatever.
Besos. Kisses.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
Those were our emojis.
You know, and yeah, and you know, I remember my older brother playing disco records, and I used to just, for some reason, just enjoy it so much.
Mm-hmm. I love disco. I still listen to disco. 70s, 80s, and 90s is my
Franz Jolie,
favorite.
one of my dearest friends.
Who? Bon Jovi, you said?
Franz Jolie,
Oh, Bon Jovi. Okay.
Come to Me, Hard to Break a Heart.
Yeah.
Them,
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that is so amazing. I love your story, and yet still to this day, you still live in Brooklyn.
still live with Brooklyn, and I live with my mom, and I don't live with my mom.
Okay. Not a lot of men would admit that, but hey.
Oh hell yeah, that's my heart, that's my soul, that's my queen. Every girl I date, I tell them straight up, listen, mama, there's only one queen in this kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one queen in this kingdom.
Mm-hmm. And that's your mom, and you still have her. She's still with you. That's amazing. That's amazing.
84, 84. I live on one. I bought the house where I live at. She got one apartment downstairs. I have the other one upstairs.
Okay. And as you should, you take care of your
Y
mama.
todavía me trepo en la cama, besuquearla, give her hugs, give her kisses, mess around with her, watch novelas with her.
Yeah. That is amazing. I love to hear that. You don't hear that a lot anymore
Oh
with
my
the whole
God.
family structure. But that's a
First thing I
beautiful thing.
first thing I do when I leave, when I used to work at the morning show, I didn't give a fuck what time it was. I used to leave the house at 3:30, 4:40. She used to get mad, but I used to wake up, mami, mi beso y la bendición. Dame mi beso y mi bendición que me voy.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, if I'm gonna come home late, mamita linda, mira, estoy bien, everything's good, cuéntate a dormir. That, voy a llegar un poquito tarde, pero we good.
Okay.
Te quiero mucho, échame la bendición.
Right. Yeah, that's a different level of respect that no one will ever understand. At least not this
To
generation.
this day, my mother talks to me and I still gotta lower my head. Because she'll tell me, what the fuck are you looking at? I'm talking to you. Bájame la cabeza.
Mm, that's old school right there.
I'm like, okay.
Está bien, está bien. Well, I appreciate that you came on my show. Thank you very much for sharing your story. And if you can say something that no one else knows about, like tell us something nobody knows. Just one thing if you can.
About me?
Anything. Yeah, I always end the show with something that no one else knows. It could be something personal about you or something coming that no one knows about. It's up to you.
Wow. Um, that I'm the biggest sentimental person there is. That, yeah, I can't see no kids or nothing. Porque enseguida rompo a llorar. And I can't hear certain stories because I'm already boiling. I'm already boiling,
Mm-hmm. So you're a very, very sentimental person.
Yeah, and I'm real uh I'm really close. I'm tight to my boys. You know, I'm my circle of friends
Mm-hmm.
have been my friends for over 35 years.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, they I have one that has my extra keys to my car, has the knows every thing to my banks, knows has the keys to my house in Puerto Rico, has whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I have another one that still walks into the house. Sometimes I'm like, yo, ma, what the fuck is he doing? No, no, que le di comida y se acostó a dormir ahí en el sofá. I'm like, really? Qué lindo. Like, I walk into my house, like, this motherfucker's right there, like, in the couch, like, shoes off and everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, what are you doing?
Yeah, no fame, no nothing will change that. It's like I don't give a fuck that you famous. I'm gonna lay up
Exactly.
on the couch
And
with
you
my
know what?
feet.
And and it's funny because I still go to the same bar that I've been going to for over 30 years.
Mm.
It's called El Coqui in Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
And Coqui, okay, I gotta check that out.
Right. And to this day, none of them call me Speedy. Not one of them.
No. No,
I'm
they call
Noel.
you
My real
Noel?
name is Noel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they tell me, ven con esa mierda de la radio y esa, de you this, you that, te doy una bofeta que te quito esa mierda rápido. And to me, and I'll be honest, to me, that means the world. I enjoy that so much because I could be me. I can be the jackass that I was in high school, cracking jokes and ranking on each other's mothers and all that. And I'm not Speedy there. And when people recognize me that come from other places to go to the bar, and they start with let me take pictures and let me do this and the fellas be like, hey. No, he ain't doing that today. He's here eating his chicken wings, being a slob, and watching football and jugando domino. Déjenmelo quieto. Let him be.
Got it, got it. Okay, okay. Well, I mean, I'ma still come say hi to you at least.
No, you know what I mean. But
Of course,
they
no, I
they
love it. I love that because they humble
to
you.
them yeah, and to them, I'm always gonna be the little guy from high school that they gotta protect. So it's always comes down to I'll tell you another story. They used to lock me up in the lockers,
Mm,
but you know why, right?
no.
Whenever a big fight broke out, like between the Latinos and the Morenos or the Blanco, whatever, they didn't never want them in nothing to happen to me. So they used to have the long lockers. You know those long lockers they used to have for
Yeah.
your coat and for everything. So I was so small in those days, they would just throw me in there, put a pencil through the lock, and lock me in there para yo no poder salir to make sure nothing happened to me, to make sure that everybody was fighting and everybody was doing this and that. They didn't want nothing to happen to me, so they would lock me up in the locker
Oh my
until
God.
everything
Calm down, and then
calmed
you.
down. Yeah,
Ah.
and it was always a security guard that knew. I'll be knocking, get me out, get me out. Yeah, Mr. Mercado, we're coming. Hold on, hold on.
Oh my God. So that's a different twist on it. So it wasn't that they were bullying you; they wanted to protect you. They couldn't keep an eye on
At
you
the
for what was
beginning,
going on.
I did get bullied my ninth grade, but by the time, like I said, I started doing the morning announcements and all that, and I started developing like friendships and all that. Then for my size, I played football, baseball, and basketball in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so for a guy my size, small, they respected the fact that they said I had so much heart. So like when I played football, I used to get thrown around and I would get up. And I'm gonna tell you a funny story. You ever watched a movie called Rudy?
Yes, yes, I did.
So the, the first time I scored a touchdown, the whole team and the whole Rudy, 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 Rudy.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh
You
my
know,
God, that must have felt great. That is amazing. That is amazing. Thank you
and
again
to
for
this,
your
and,
story.
and to this day, man, you know what? I tell you, I'm sentimental. I think about those things and I start tearing up. You know,
Yeah. They humble you. They keep you humble. They keep you humble. And that's what
like I tell you, the funniest thing was when a kid in the neighborhood came dressed up as me for Halloween. He came to my door with his hat backwards, a set of headphones on, and they drew him a beard. They drew him a beard, and he had glasses on. He had glasses on like me, and he goes. They ring the bell, and the kid goes, instead of going trick or treat, he goes whappa whappa. I gave him the whole damn bag of candy I had out of there. Here's $20. Here's I was so flattered and so
Mhm. Oh, that must feel good. I know that that feels good. Especially since you did say that, for Christmas time and stuff like that, you like to do Santa, you like to give gifts. I mean, that's an
yeah. No, we give away turkeys at the bar. We do a little bit of everything.
okay. Okay. Well, thank you again for being on my show and
Thank you for having me
let everyone know where they could find you.
on Facebook. On Facebook, Noel Mercado and Speedy. On Instagram, is Speedy LJS.
Speedy LGS. Okay. Okay, then. Thank you again for
Thank
being
you.
on my show. For the rest of you, you already know Hit Your Girl Up. I would love to have your story on the show. Stay safe, stay humble, and as always, Speedy, lift up your arms for me. Lift them up, and say
Hey, fabulous!
fabulous. Say wepa for me one last time.
Wepa! Stay fabulous!
Ah, thank you. Love you guys.
Thank you, Mama.